Yes, now, bless now, don't forget the rest now, people. Fucking Slayer! There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV signing in. I got a little cheeky review and a little cheeky rating to drop for you. Had a little revisit to this classic. I've done a listen from this channel. It might currently be uploaded, but to be honest with you, I'll leave to give my review, an overview, until after the videos are uploaded. So you'll see this afterwards. Re-listen to Hell Awaits, Slayer, a record I'm familiar with, or was familiar with. I listened to this record a couple of times back in the day when I was a teenager. Moving up into my 20s, to be fair with you. I was quite fond of this record. It's been a little minute since I had decided to go back into it. It was this channel in particular that I thought, you know what, we'll go through the big four and we'll check out a couple of gnarly metal records, and this came up. So there's only 7 numbers on this record, which is relatively short, but some of the songs span 6 minutes onwards, so it's self-explanatory that the record is long enough. First and foremost, the album artwork is sick. It's from here where I start to recognize a pattern emerging with Slayer's artwork, and that they not only stay on brand but include some fantastic visual imagery to really accommodate the music and the soundscape they create. I like this record. I think it's dirty, grungy. We had a little history lesson in regards to their debut, Show No Mercy, as to which it referenced that people weren't too fond. I don't know who these people were, but they weren't too fond of the production value, like the budget production value on it. Hell Await sounds like it was made on a lesser budget, to be honest. The quality isn't as sharp as what it was on Show No Mercy, but I like it for that. I think the sound quality really gives it this less polished, more organic, dingy, grungy, grey, dry feel to it, and I think that's perfect for the record. We got a lot of death metal-esque elements on this record. This was put out in '85, from what I'm aware, correct me if I'm wrong, just before the emergence of actual death metal. I mean, death metal starts to get referenced around this era, but as far as death metal for death metal's sake, you know, it's iffy, it's debatable. But Slayer is so ahead of their time, playing half of the riffs they were playing, such as, it's thrash metal, yeah, classified as thrash metal, but the single line, single note picking, all of that stuff at high pace, high tempo. You got Lombardo giving it the whole skank on the drums, the whole punk rock infused thrash metal element. But realistically, there's an incredible amount of death metal undertone to the record, let alone the imagery and the branding. I mean, this band does the devil pristine. Now, another comment is, I've had a look at the credits and it seems that it's Jeff Hanneman and Kerry King, at least during the early years, coming together to do the majority of the songwriting, if not all of the songwriting. People always use the argument, or Tom Araya, or however his surname is pronounced, that Tom's from a Christian background and blah de blah de blah. Honestly, he must be a very bad Christian, because, or I don't think he's a Christian at all. Are you telling me he reads the Bible and goes to church and all this and that? Because this, you can't go ahead and be a good Christian creating music like this, can you? And I don't say that to say, oh, well, people shouldn't be open-minded, and of course you can have a belief and have all this and that. He's got lines like, praise hell, praise Satan and stuff. Why would you manifest and produce and provoke that reaction in others if you yourself are adamantly against that? I understand theatrics and creating drama and it's art, and that's completely understandable, and I understand Kerry King and Hanneman probably wrote the lyrical content given that they're credited, but the point still stands. People always say that and reference him being a Christian, but realistically, I don't know how much you can pull off being a Christian, and they must be pretty bloody lenient considering what Slayer went and did throughout their career, let alone this record. So I really like the record, that aside. Lyrical content, I never really picked up on it too much aside from a couple of one-liners, but my Spotify, the lyrics are uploaded. So I was traveling one time and I put the lyrics on in alignment with what I was hearing on the record. And some of it's quite grotesque. I mean, I only had it up for Necrophiliac. And, you know, it's not going to be a walk in the park as far as lyrical content, but it was quite gruesome and gross and gory. And there was a few expletives in there, and I never picked up on that whilst just listening to it as a casual enjoyer. You know what I mean? I never picked up on the fact that he was swearing and he was talking about rape and all this and that in a very ghastly manner. I mean, of course it makes sense, but I thought they always sort of strayed away from it in like a mature sense, that they didn't need to touch it with some shock value element. But there we go. That was something new I learned. Now, where do we go? The guitar riffs are fantastic. The drumming is absolutely pristine. Bass has a nice emphasis on the record. Lyrical content, we covered that. Vocal performance is brilliant. There's a classic Tom scream on, I think the title is Kill Again. It's track number 2. And he goes, wah! And then the riff, just above this transition into this great thrash metal riff. Me, personally, I think that is one of the best metal moments of all time. It excites me. And I say that because I used to replay that bit over and over and over again when I was younger. It caught me off guard this time around listening to it, and I still felt the exact same way. I felt that is incredible because the energy just smacks you, and the scream is probably the best one he's ever done. I mean, it's up for debate, definitely, but that placement with that riff, to me and my tastes, is absolutely fantastic. So I like the sound of this record. The soundscape represents the artwork, just the endless cavernous foreverness of hell. Hell awaits, we're here. And Slayer's bloody riffing out. Fantastic. I like it very much. I'm going to give this record a rating, and I'm going to give it... I'm going to be harsh. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Because there are a few filler riffs. And that's all I'm going to sort of detract it for. A few filler riffs, and of course it's not perfect. That's all I need to say. I want to give it a 9 out of 10, but, you know, if that's a 9 out of 10, I don't want to demean the real 9 out of 10s I come across, which are pristine records, like classics. Hell Awaits is an incredible record. Is it a classic? To some people, maybe. I really enjoy it, but I can see other people not, especially in metal, because it might not share the same sound and the high-tech output of the studio magic a lot of people are interested in. And it's quite niche. It's quite niche in the, you know, the areas and pockets as to where it makes me feel cool. There's certain elements of the band that and this record that I really like that I know other people won't, which I guess that's across the board with every music and band ever of all time, but this one in particular. And without further ado, I'm signing out, people. One love.